This is my second day at VidCon and I'm back with the selfie stick, so hopefully it will be a much more stable experience for you the viewer and me as the recorder. See, it's quite stable, yeah? Not rocky like yesterday. I definitely chose my best red YouTube themed sneakers. One more sidebar, I did want to match YouTube's colours again, but I didn't have another red jumper, but I did have a sparkly reddish jumper, so I just want to show you that like I did again, day 2 days in a row, sort of matchy colours. Just about to catch a session on mastering the new wave of LinkedIn video. Yes, that is what it's called, with String Nguyen, the chick, the mastermind behind String Story. This is going to be awesome. She is like super animated and incredibly active on LinkedIn, and I can't wait to learn. And a quote that I loved that she said was, B2B content is super boring. It makes me fall asleep. That's why you actually need to stand out. And like, she speaks her truth. Like, if you see her in person, what you see in video is what you get. Like, she's totally animated and alive and buoyant and vibrant. She was awesome. Another quote that I loved from String was, LinkedIn's algo is so beta, right? Which is like totes millennial. But for those of you who aren't millennials and don't speak the speak, that basically means LinkedIn's algorithm is so beta, which basically means it's in the very early stages of development and they're still trying to work out what is going to actually work best for the platform. Millennial. I'm a millennial. I am 36. I know, I look 21. It's the hair, it's the eyes, it's the hair, it's the curls. But no, I am 36, just on the cusp actually, still a millennial. So one of the awesome lessons that I learned from String's session is that the first 3 seconds of your video on LinkedIn matters a lot. And look, wait, what do we got? We got String! So give us your best 3 seconds in 1, 2.
Do you like pew jokes? Because I do too.
Thank you. Let's give her a round of applause. Awesome.
Oh, the fastest way is just dance.
Oh, dance. Okay, dancing's good.
Are you going to dance with me?
Awesome. Dancing. VidCon, who knew? And one extra quick little tip is, she said if you actually tag the CEO of LinkedIn, Jeff Weiner, and he comments, it's going to bring in a smooth 1 million extra views. So I'm going to tag Jeff Weiner in the comments of this video and roll out that theory and see how we go. Hey, Jeff, I'm Jordana. It's nice to meet you. Are you there yet? Are you there yet? Jeff! I am about to head into a session titled, can you see it? How to be a boss lady, going behind the camera to get expert tips and tricks, which I'll share with you. Run by Chantel Houston from BuzzFeed. Hello, BuzzFeed, right? And it was called How to Be a Boss Lady Behind the Camera. And one of her quotes that I absolutely loved was, there's no right or wrong way to do any of this stuff. As long as you're doing something, you're miles ahead, which is so true because like as a creative, right? As a content creator, as a writer, as an editor, you know, anything that we're doing, right? We often can get sort of stuck. It's really easy to get stuck with our own fears and our own limitations and our inner critic, and we think we're not good enough, or we don't have enough skills, or we don't have enough insight, or we don't have enough knowledge. But you know, the whole idea and the whole message is just do it, because what you're doing right now, if you're doing something, is better than not doing anything at all. So I love that message. And can I just reiterate one more time that she was from BuzzFeed. So when someone from BuzzFeed tells you how to be a boss lady behind the camera, you listen. So now I'm about to jump into a session called The Future of Influencer Marketing and How the Trends Are Wrong. Hello, controversial. Run by Nick Yields, who is the CEO of Peg, which is, they're based in the UK. And it was interesting because it was like the anti-influencer marketing. It was anti-trends, it was anti-mainstream, it was anti-everything, and all of his points were so valid. It was such an interesting perspective. He said that according to their data, they have found that almost every single trend is actually wrong, which was really interesting. And I knew it would be like a really fun session because he started it with this, and I quote, I want to start by giving you a hypothetical scenario, a stupid one. So you know when you hear that, it's going to be someone that's like super lighthearted and super engaging, which he totally was. It was so interesting because he said that as the influencer marketplace is actually on the rise, it's number one, commoditizing talent, and number two, this is actually impacting the trust that an audience or a fan base has for a personality and the brand that they're actually representing. And he showed an example of like one personality and an influencer who promoted a particular product like 5 times in a week, and it was just like, how is their audience supposed to actually believe that they inherently and authentically believe in that product? So he was so cool because it was just like anti this and anti that, but it's like so true, and it's like everyone's like riding these trends, and one of the main messages from him was like, do not believe the hype. Like he actually said, don't believe all the trends that are out there because they ain't true. And he also said that cost per engagement, which is what a lot of people are interested in when it comes to influencer marketing, is a vanity metric. So it's one of those metrics that doesn't even matter. I also loved the way Nick responded to one of the questions from the audience, which was, how do you define celebrity versus influencer? And he said that a influencer needs to be digital first, which I thought was like a perfect response, which totally sums up a question that's been like super popular that I've heard a lot over like today and yesterday, which is what's the difference between like a traditional celebrity and a digital influencer? And he nailed it, and he was hilarious. He was from the UK, so he had a very dry sense of humor, but he was funny as, and he was awesome. I loved Nick's session so much that I actually put my hand up and I was like, this is awesome, firstly. Secondly, I was like, as someone who is like the anti-trend, do you get like a lot of kickback from other agencies who are actually following the trends and leveraging off the trends and marketing off those trends? And he actually said that he's been on panels where it's just been like him against other people, and often they are the voice that stands out as being completely different. But I think it's awesome because it was totally truthful, and he said that data doesn't lie, and all of his knowledge that he shared with us came off data that they've got. So it was incredible. Next up, next session I'm attending is How to Stand Out on YouTube, which is incredible because I read a book called Capture My Attention, which is all about how to stand out online with creative content. So I'm hoping this session is going to be filled with creative and amazing ideas for video content. You can't change the game by sitting on the fence. How cool is that quote? That was from Erin May Henry, who just delivered a session on how to stand out on YouTube, which is a personal passion of mine. Erin started with a question. Well, no, she started with a few questions, but one of them was, why should people be watching you? So I thought, why should people be watching me? My hair? Maybe? My eyes? Maybe? Maybe the fact that I always wear red, sparkly jumpers? I don't know. Or perhaps, my content and point of difference. Ding, 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 ding. Yes! Another quote that I loved from Erin is, she says, waiting till I get bigger is a trap that a lot of people fall into. So that's really interesting because, you know, as a content creator, you can often think, oh, I won't do this now, I'll do it. I don't have enough followers yet, or I don't have enough people watching me yet. But it was a really interesting message to reinforce, because whatever it is that you need to put in place that might be valuable in a year or 2 or 3, do it now when you're actually starting out, because it just saves you so much drama and hassle and makes the entire process moving forward much easier. Like, I know a lot about branding from a marketing perspective and a social media marketing perspective quite generally, but I've never thought about it really from a YouTube specific filter, which is one of the benefits about coming to an event like VidCon, is that it's all about focused on video, and in that case it was just YouTube. So I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna check out my channel and change pretty much everything except for the videos, because I'm very happy with the content that I already have, and this content is going to feature on the channel, and I'm pretty happy with how this particular editor, no, I just stuffed up. I was very happy with how it was going until I just rolled my edit. I also loved how she hit us with a cold, hard, creative truth bomb, which was, quote, if somebody else is doing it, it is not different. I love that. I've never heard that before. So, Erin, good one. Thank you for having me, VidCon. Look around, there is like legit almost like absolutely nobody here. I have totally overstayed my welcome, but I wanted to say thank you, and I would love to come back next year, but hopefully and ideally in a different capacity. Maybe as a content creator, maybe I could present, but I guess that will come down to how well this video goes. So to anybody watching it, if you've liked it, if you've lolled, if you've learned a lesson, if you've enjoyed a tip, feel free to engage, because you never know where it or I could end up. It's really easy to twirl with the selfie stick. I'm not feeling sick, are you? Ooh, okay, I can't actually stand straight, but that was good.